word evil and concerning would fit into this. This case involves the arrest of James Cohen that happened yesterday afternoon. The most frightening part of this case is he was an instructional assistant at Tropical Elementary School in Merritt Island and also an employee at KinderCare in Merritt Island. And I want to start out by saying both Brevard Public Schools and KinderCare have been extremely cooperative in this. They are deeply concerned, just as we are, about what's taking place. I'm going to say this is a sick puppy. In my 42 years of law enforcement, I don't think I've ever seen anything as disturbing as the videos that we have recovered as part of this case. This case started on January 24th when the National Center for Missing and Exploiting Children sent us a cyber tip about an IP address in our area. Our team got the cyber tip. They immediately subpoenaed the IP address from Spectrum. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not happy with Spectrum or any of these other providers, as it took Spectrum from January 24th until May 15th to return the information to us. Knowing the type of case it is, they took that long to get us that information back, which put innocent lives of children at risk. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be working with our legislators to make sure that that doesn't happen as we move forward. Our team got the information back, and what we actually got back was the physical address of where the IP address was at, the physical address on September Street in Melbourne. So our team immediately went to work identifying who was at that. This all started on May 15th, which is when we got the information back. On the 15th, 16th, and 17th, our agents were working to identify who's in the home, who potentially had control of the IP address, and they identified James Cohen as that individual. Now, they did a wage and hour as part of all the investigative effort, and the wage and hour returned that he worked for Brevard Public Schools and that he also worked for KinderCare. So, as you can imagine, this case has massive significance in our community and the potential for impact on children. Our agents immediately contacted Cohen at Tropical Elementary School, and they simultaneously served a search warrant at his residence on September Street in Melbourne. Cohen, this was on the 18th. Cohen admits to downloading and viewing images and videos of child porn. He also says that his father, who also resides at the house, had absolutely nothing to do with this, that this was all him. He actually says that he deleted it, had deleted it off of his devices. And the reason we believe that he did this is because oftentimes the various apps and providers for this will actually notify the suspect that they have been reported for downloading child porn. And so he says that he deleted everything. Well, he either lied or he was wrong, because he didn't. As part of the search warrant at his residence, we seized 9 items, 2 laptops, a camera, 4 cell phones, and 2 tablets. We also seized an additional cell phone off of him. The cyber tip had been specific to one type of cell phone, so our team started with that and doing our forensic audit. Now, once he admitted to what was taking place and downloading these videos, our team immediately notified Brevard Public Schools. They removed him from the campus and immediately suspended him. KinderCare actually made sure he was never on the property again. So as I said, both of these locations, or both of these employers, did everything they could to support our investigative efforts. And another thing I think is important to remember is James Cohen, prior to this, had no criminal history of any significance. In fact, he only had a driving charge, was the only thing in his criminal history. So there is nothing that would have stopped Brevard Public Schools or KinderCare from hiring this individual and employing this individual in the capacity he was in. At Tropical Elementary School, he was working with special needs children, and at KinderCare, he was working with some of the younger kids at that location. So again, they both worked with us immediately to make sure that he was no longer around any more children. Our forensic team, as I said, picked the first phone. We're gonna do forensic audit on all 10. They picked the first phone, and folks, what they found on that phone is probably the most disturbing thing I've ever seen in my career. 170 videos on just one device. Videos of babies being bound in bondage. These are babies. These are freaking babies that this individual is getting off on watching. Being bound in bondage, babies being sexually assaulted, babies being defecated and urinated on. The age of these babies appears to be very young. and in some cases even appear to be newborns. That's the type of videos that this individual was downloading. As I said, sick, revolting. You pick the term, and it applies to how just demented this individual is. Innocent babies that this piece of garbage was literally enjoying watching, being bound, being defecated on, all of these other things that were taking place. I don't have to tell you, but people like him shouldn't be allowed to walk among us. Unfortunately, the law only allows for so much punishment, and we're making sure that he gets everything he deserves. Currently, there is nothing to indicate that he was producing these videos, but we don't know. We're very early on in this investigation. Our team is working diligently to go through the other devices, but it is a painstaking process to make sure that we preserve every piece of evidence from it. He was taken into custody yesterday by our Game Over Task Force. I personally met them at the jail and walked his sorry butt into our Brevard County Jail. He was arrested on 10 counts of possession of material depicting sexual performance of a child. While there's 170 videos, what our team wanted to do was to secure him behind bars. And so they picked the 10 worst videos. They wrote an affidavit, sent that to the state attorney's office. State attorney's office, Julia Lynch, has been a tremendous partner for us in these type of cases. She immediately prepared the warrant. We took it to Judge Garagoslo, and he gave him no bond, as you would imagine. There's also another issue. We will be putting more charges on this individual. So these 10 charges are just to hold him in jail so that we can be certain nobody is being victimized or being put at risk. There's also the consideration that as the state attorney processes these, they'll be looking at what we call penalty enhancers. And generally speaking, in child porn cases, penalty enhancers are the 3 B's, and that's babies, bondage, and bestiality. And if what he already did wasn't sick enough, there is evidence of bestiality on some of the videos that we've seen. So he's going to check all 3 of those boxes and spend the rest of his life locked behind bars where he can't victimize another child or enjoy watching a child be victimized. Again, thank you to Judge Garagoslo for giving us a no bond, and also to the state attorney's office for their effort in doing this so expeditiously. So moving forward, our forensic auditors are going to continue to examine the other devices. Our agents will continue to write the affidavits and add charges to him as we develop more charges. Our primary concern right now, and I want to hinge on, there's nothing currently that indicates he was producing these, that he was actually videotaping the children himself being done. But that doesn't mean that didn't happen. So our primary concern is for any additional victims that could have been hurt by this individual or people associated with him. So I know this is frightening for a parent, especially a parent that has somebody that may have come in contact with him. What we would ask you to do is, if you have individual concerns, please contact our agency. You can see the number there, 321-633-8400. Please contact our agents. Let them meet with you and talk with you if your child has come in contact with this individual from it. We're also going to be working with our federal partners to identify any potential victims in the videos, anybody that we can possibly identify, and anybody we can possibly bring to justice that did produce those videos and put them out there on the web. And then I'm going to be working with our legislators. As I said, the delay from January 24th to May 15th to get us this information put innocent lives, the lives of babies, at risk. And that's just unacceptable. These providers make millions and millions of dollars off of people, and they can get off their asses and get us that information so that we can get it to our agents and put these people in jail. And I'm going to be working with our legislators, and I think they'll be lined up to help us pass this legislation as we move forward. I want to certainly say this was a collaborative effort between our BCSO agents, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, NECMEC, the State Attorney's Office, Brevard Public Schools, KinderCare. Everybody worked together on this to get this individual off the streets and to protect these children. And this guy's right where he belongs. Actually, that's not true. He's in jail. That's not where he belongs for this type of crime, but he's where the law allows us to put him, and that's where he's going to stay at. As I said, this case is disgusting. It's evil to think that there are people that walk among us that are this sick, this demented, is disturbing. And in 42 years of law enforcement, I've never seen this type of stuff. This is just appalling. And my heart goes out to our agents who deal with this day in and day out. My heart goes out to the families of these children that have been abused, and to the parents right now that have a million questions. And I understand that, but we wanted to make sure that we got this information out as quickly as possible. As I said, I wish the law allowed for more for this individual, but he's locked up, he's behind bars, and at this point, he can't victimize anyone else or enjoy watching anyone else be victimized. So again, thank you to our team, and our public information officer will be providing more information as we move forward and making sure that we keep our public informed.